So here we have Rio de Janeiro. Where are the safe areas? It's pretty easy. Um, Baja, kind of a suburb of Rio. Um, and well, I don't want to say something and assume that you know Rio. So I guess some of it, if you're an old hand with Rio, you might think, oh, this is obvious, but so be it. So anyway, here's the Ipanema, Copacabana. Generally speaking, you're fine. You're safe there. Now, you need to be careful. And I'm talking about long-term living, right? I'm talking about long-term living. That's a little different than when you're popping in and out of a hotel. Now, theoretically, you could, if you come in this area here, like up into Botafogo and the Centro, kind of the so-called downtown of Rio, and in this area, you could find apartments, and they'd probably be decent enough. And I just don't think you'd want to live there. I'd give those areas kind of a blue as opposed to a red. Okay. And I also want to just touch briefly here. If you go outside, for example, if you came over to this area, Recreio dos Bandeirantes, it's very safe over there, but now you're getting far away from Rio. This is actually within the technical legal Rio municipality, right here. And it's interesting, if you go, you'll see that if you go along this road here, you see where my mouse is going, it's dangerous. You just look there and you can see. All right, I went and last night coming back, there was some stop and go traffic. Last night during the evening, I went during the day at about 11, came back at about 6, I came back at about 5 in the evening, all the way over here to Itaguaí. It was my first time over here. And you can see all along this highway here, it is very, I mean, you may look here and say, oh, well, that's just the countryside. No, actually, almost all this area, there's development. And you can see you can see the graffiti, you can see the stray dogs, you can see all the indicia, all the markers of kind of ghetto-ish poverty, for lack of a better term, okay? And that sort of ghetto-ish poverty is all up in this area as well. More or less. Now, less you start getting, there are certain areas that are kind of nicer, that's okay. But if you come up in this, it's not very good for living. And if you rent an apartment for any length of time, I always make this argument, and it's you can find it in let's see here. How will we do this? I think I will do it. I'll try to find this thing here. I'll do this. Then we'll bring this puppy back over here. And we'll do this. Please bear with me. I'm going to show you what I mean here. I'm going to show you what I mean in terms of the this phenomenon of where you it's the idea that what it is it's the idea the topic of this, here it is. Okay, you'll see right here. There it is. Where is it? Yeah. Case south of Barranquilla. This guy, in this video, I discuss how this guy, he actually bought a home in the south of Barranquilla. And lo and behold, after a certain amount of time, he was held up and robbed, and he kind of resisted. We think he kind of resisted. We don't know exactly. But they shot him. They killed him. Okay. you don't want to find yourself. The local people will discover that who they think is a rich person, will live there, and they'll come after you. So you don't want to get in that situation where you kind of set up shop, as it were, in a place where there are lots of poor people. They'll start talking about you. They'll tell their friends that the gringo lives on the corner of 3rd and James or whatever, or the 3rd of João and João Street, right? And then they'll say, let's watch his patterns. What's he doing? Then before you know it, you're going to get held up and mugged. Now, I have a subscriber who recently said, hey, I have lived in these areas, like right in the middle of this red box, although with Colombia, not with Brazil, and he's indicated that I was okay. I was actually robbed in the rich areas. All right, so I think that there are arguments that cut both ways here, and I'm just giving you as an example. This Rocinha, right? It's a favela. It's deep ghetto. This area, it's you would never you would never want to live there because the police aren't even allowed in there, right? And they'd extort you. They'd like to make you pay a tax. I mean, actually, I'm not even going to approach that. And so it's, for convenience reasons, you would also want to live in these areas, even if it's not the safety, but it generally is safer. I can't say there's no arguing about that, really. I'm not saying that you couldn't get robbed there. I'm not saying that. We do know in Copacabana, if you walk around with a camera, you may well get robbed. What they'll do is they'll come across and grab it from you and run. Or maybe they'll come up with a knife and then do it, or maybe even with a gun. But a lot of times those are kids, by the way. 14-year-old, a group of 3 14-year-old boys come up, one distracts the other, grabs it, and runs off. Okay? So you can even see, look at the golf club here, right? If wealthy people are locating themselves in these regions, I think you have an idea. Now here, if you look, this, Barra da Tijuca, right? Safe neighborhood. You come over, look in this video that I've made, and you'll see that is right here, directly right in this spot. So when you look at this video on my channel, know that you are staring right at this spot. And you can just look around. Just look around in that video. That's the way large swaths of this entire region look. And it's obviously safer, right? At any rate, I won't belabor the point. I think you guys get it. And I'm going to make a blog post on this so you can take a look at this map right here and have it available, for your convenience, etc. Okay, have a good one, you guys.